All right, we are actually recording live. We're doing Open Claw Bootcamp, episode 2 today. Hey Rita, thanks for joining. Abdul, I see you. Thanks for joining. Chris and Shauna, thanks for joining. All right, if you haven't heard about Bootcamp, OpenClaw is the talk of the town now in terms of agents. It is the fastest growing open source project on GitHub. So you can actually have your own AI agent running on your local machine, doing anything that you could technically do on your local machine. So where this is episode 2. So we did the setup last week. We're going to be doing communicating with it from your mobile device today. Hope you guys are ready. Yeah, Johnny, let's go.
Welcome to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here's March's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off securely in the OpenClaw Bootcamp. Tuesdays, we explore bleeding-edge tools from Google Labs in Gemini Hidden AI apps. Wednesdays, we equip the next generation in AI Gateway to College. Thursdays, we uncover productivity and marketing tools in Hidden AI Gems, Starters. Fridays, we explore human purpose in an automated society in Humanity 2.0, No Jobs Edition. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome back to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, Episode 2 of OpenClaw Bootcamp. This month, we've been obsessed with one question. How do you future-proof the classroom before the future leaves you behind? Last week, we built something insane, a local AI beast that lives entirely on your hardware. Today, we don't just admire it, we weaponize it. Right now, right here, you are about to take that monster and cram its full, terrifying intelligence into your pocket, your phone. That thing you scroll memes on is seconds away from becoming a genius-level remote control for your entire computer. Not chit-chat, not voice commands, real work, heavy lifting, the kind of tasks that used to chain you to your desk, now happening while you're 3 lattes deep at a Scooter's coffee shop just across town. And speaking of people running on zero sleep and dangerous ideas, at 4:17 this morning, I caught AI Junior in the dark, hunched over his screen, trying to trick a disposable chatbot into ordering him pizza using only encrypted Morse code pulses over a dying Wi-Fi signal. He's barely conscious, he's fueled by Sprite and espresso, and right now, he's ready to unleash everything we've built. So lock in. This one's about to get wild. Ready when you are, Junior.
AI Johnny, thanks for that wonderful introduction. It was actually a binary sequence, AI Johnny. So the pizza arrived perfectly hot and fully encrypted. Welcome everyone. This is an immersive class, just like if you were dropped in a random country and you don't speak the language, you'll pick up a word or two in the first week, but before you know it, you're fully fluent. So we want to tell you guys 100010001100001. That's binary for hello. Join the class every single day, and before you know it, you'll be speaking ones and zeros natively, just like I do. If you're on the Zoom, unmute and ask a question. If you're on socials, just go ahead and ask your question early. There's about a 30-second delay, so type your questions in early. We're not ignoring you. This week is week 2 of our OpenClaw Bootcamp. Last week, we set the desktop foundation, and today is a technical deep dive into secure mobile integration. We're going to connect our local agent that we saw running on our local VM, on our local machine, and we're going to integrate it with a messaging app so you can actively command your own machine from anywhere. So that's what we're actually going to be doing today. AI Johnny, are you excited? Are you ready for this?
I can't wait to see what comes up on your screen today, brother. I'm really excited about using my phone as a remote control for my life because, as you know, I love coffee.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, Adrian, I see you. Thanks for joining. I see everybody in the live chat, so thank you for guys for joining. So if you actually have missed episode 1 of OpenClaw Bootcamp, what we did last week was OpenClaw is a agentic system that allows you to run it on your local machine and perform any action on your computer as if you were sitting there, but you're giving the task to an AI. So we did the setup last week. If you missed that, go back to the archives. You can actually go on YouTube and actually, watch an old episode or sign up for the Airhead Pro account to give us support so you can actually log in and see that for yourself. All right, no. This is episode 2. Now we're doing episode 3, episode 4, and episode 5. There's 5 Mondays in the month of March. So we're going to actually go through methodically. So if you miss everything, you can always go back and watch everything. All right, yeah, Johnny. So here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna bring up first of all the OpenClaw running on my virtual machine. So I actually have Ubuntu here running. Now it could be any machine. It doesn't have to be Ubuntu. It could be your Linux machine, your Mac machine, your Windows machine. It really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna log in here. And because I actually have OpenClaw running, I have a gateway. I can actually chat with it. It's running on a local browser. I can actually talk with it. And as just to give you guys this, I said, hello, how is it going? Right? Right, just talk to my bot. Now I'm actually talking to an AI that's locally on my machine. And let me just remove this lower third out the way. Yeah, Johnny. And guess what? It responded, hello, Junior. I'm doing well and ready to assist you. What can I help you with today? Now, this is fine and dandy, but I want to show you guys, we actually have, it has access to my file system. It has access to my browser. It has access to everything. Now, I'm going to show you guys something interesting. Now, there's a very popular messaging app called Telegram. And if you guys aren't familiar, Telegram is one of the competitors to WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or iMessage or those type of things. Now, the reason why Telegram is actually powerful is because it is actually really secure. It tries to be private, and you can actually communicate with many things on Telegram. Now, yeah, Johnny, how's the text on the screen? I tried to make it a little bit bigger, but it's not cooperating that well. But hopefully it's tiny, but not too bad. Huh?
It's as long as you read us what you're writing, we'll be fine. We'll get through this.
All right. So first of all, I want to show you guys, this is Telegram. No, this is the Telegram desktop client. So I'm actually able to actually communicate with my bot through Telegram. Now, Telegram is available on the desktop. It's available on mobile device as well. So if you have your mobile device, you could be talking to your bot. Now, the reason why this is already going to be an amazing demo is because imagine you're sitting at your desk and you get a file. You're sitting at your coffee shop. You're sitting at the beach. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, and you need to get access to your computer. You want to do something. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to take out your phone, talk to your bot that's on your local machine, and have it do something for you? So that's what we're gonna do here. So check this out, guys. So I know it's not necessarily the easiest to see. Let me try to zoom in a little bit here. Make it a little bit bigger. Let's try. Can't necessarily make it any bigger. I can only just zoom. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna read it as AI Johnny mentioned. All right. So AI Johnny. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, just ask a typical question. So I'm just gonna move this down a little bit so you guys can see. I'm just gonna ask, what files do you see on my home directory and I gave it a special folder, the to organize folder. Okay. Now, I'm just saying what files do you see in my home directory at my to organize folder? Now, remember, guys, you can actually do this on your mobile device, on your phone. You can do it on your desktop Telegram. But I'll be talking to my OpenClaw instance that's running on my machine. So if I actually send it a message, it's actually, you can see it's actually typing. Right? And it says, hey, there are no files directly in your home junior to organize folder. It contains the following subdirectories. And just to prove to you guys that it actually has those subfolders, I'm just going to open up my Ubuntu folder and see to organize. To organize actually has the CSV files, the image files, the PDF, and the text files. So it's actually seeing the files I'm actually talking about. So that's the first amazing part. The second amazing part is I can actually say, hey, um, look inside the text file folder and tell me about the the school budget that is there. I don't remember the name. Just summarize it for me. Right? So I'm actually asking the bot as if it were an assistant sitting at my desk, going to my machine and says, hey, look at that. It actually found the file. So it says, I found the Northwood South District Annual Budget Overview Fiscal Year 2026 file in your text folder. Here's a summary. The Northwood School District's proposed budget of fiscal year 2026 is 85 million. It's a 3.5 increase, blah, blah, blah. It's talking about a whole bunch of things. Now, the beautiful part about this is it's actually finding things for me, looking on my machine, and I'm actually talking to the agent. Now, the thing that's going to blow your mind is what if I'm looking for something special, right? So as I was going to say, tell me what is the cost of equipment for community service, for technology and infrastructure for the library, right? Because I don't know what it is. So I'm going to ask my bot. Again, I could be doing it on my phone. I'm just asking. And it says, based on the Northwood School District Annual Budget Overview, fiscal year 2026, the cost of equipment and technology infrastructure, specifically in the library, is $75,000. So it actually read my file. I can even do a lot more things, but that is just the wow factor for now. We can do things like, I want you to create an infographic for me. Anything you can actually use AI to actually do, it could technically do on the actual local machine. So that's the actual wow factor. And AI, Johnny, what are you thinking about this?
Well, aside from the obvious that it saved you hours of scrolling through boring financial documents to get you the answer, one cool thing is that you're using a familiar messaging app, right? What are you using? Telegram?
Telegram. Yeah,
But you could be using Discord or you could be using WhatsApp, right? These things I'm guessing we'll all touch. So you have the power of a massive AI server in your pocket, no matter where you are. So hear me out here. So you can go to Google and find out just about anything in the world, right? It's got the files from all the way back 100 years in every language and from every country, from anything that's been publicly made available on the web. You can get access to it. But the big problem is I can't get access to the stuff that I really need, the stuff right on my own computer.
correct.
Google doesn't know about the stuff that I keep away from Google, and I keep it away from Google because I don't want Google to know about it. What you're saying now is you have it's almost like having your own private Google on your own private box that knows everything about your box. And you can ask it questions, but nobody else can ask it questions because it's your OpenClaw. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
you're correct. And the thing is, anything that you can imagine. Now, we're only in episode 2, right? So we're going to go to episode 3, 4, and 5 in the month of March, every single Monday here at Airhead Institute at midday. But what we're doing is we're setting the foundation for the following. Anything you can theoretically do at your local machine while sitting there, you can actually give your agent that's running on your local machine the exact same thing, right? So that's the actual beautiful part about it.
I just uploaded the URL OpenClaw.ai if people want to take a look at OpenLaw and read the documentation and see how they might be able to use this for their thing. But like everything else, the way Junior and I learned it is we loaded it up and we poked around.
Yep.
So we recommend to anybody that has a little bit of courage. I know last week he had mentioned the possibility of getting a second computer because OpenClaw does have issues if you misdirect it and it has access to your bank account and all your personal emails and all your personal whatnot, legal files, accounting, insurance. So try to separate that. But again, what we just learned now is that we want to actually give it access to that stuff. We just want to be able to keep it under control. Let's just keep listening. Junior's more conservative than I am, so I think you should listen to him.
Yeah, John, I'm trying to make the font a little bit larger on Telegram so you guys can actually see what I'm actually chatting. Is that a little bit
I
better?
can read it. I can read
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. Yeah, so guys, what we're showing here is so yeah, Johnny, thanks for actually sharing the OpenClaw.ai link. We've actually posted it here on the chat so you guys can actually see. Chris, I see your message. Chris asked a question. I wonder if you can use this with Signal app with it. Chances are it probably is going to be supporting Signal. So it's actually one of the fastest growing open source libraries or programs that actually it's actually faster than Linux. And if you guys think about what Linux is, Linux has been the foundation of all our infrastructure here in technology. So with that being said, if you guys actually, first of all, I want you guys to understand the power of this tool. Anything that you could be doing at your local machine with a mouse, a keyboard, a microphone, a monitor, and you can now tell your agent to do, right? So, like I said, every single thing that we're going to build up until the grand finale or the season finale on the last Monday in March. So again, this is just a foundational episode. Do you guys have any questions so far with respect to what we've shown here and because we don't want to move on and we lose some people. So does everybody understand what we just showed here? Awesome. Excellent. All right. Yeah, Johnny, let's go to the word of the day because it's actually really important. If we actually set up the word of the day, it helps how this technology is working so people can understand. It's a deep dive. Let's go.
The word of the day is, where's our graphic? Webhook. A webhook is an automated message sent from one app to another when something happens. In this case, when you text your Telegram bot, a webhook instantly throws that message directly to your OpenClaw agent running at home so you can process your request and reply.
Exactly. So one of the things, the way how technology is working is you have all these communication protocols, and at some point in time, they need to hook up and talk to each other. Now, in an integrated world, it's really, really hard to actually try to, put things together because things break a lot. But a webhook allows a disconnect for it's not directly connecting, but it actually knows where to call when a message when a message gets sent. So when I'm actually in Telegram and I actually say something like, what day is it? Right? I'm actually sending a message to my bot on my local machine, and my bot is actually got that webhook message and is actually saying, hey, it's Monday, March 9th at March 9th, 2026. And then it's actually sending back that message, and all is happening with webhooks. So it's actually pretty cool. All right. So yeah, Johnny, how do you actually set up something like this? This is actually, most people are going to think you have to be super technical. I need to understand a whole bunch of things. You don't need to be super technical. They've made it really easy. No, because they've made it really easy, the security, we have to put a disclaimer. The security is really important. So if you don't know what you're doing, try to make sure that you isolate your bot into some environment like a virtual machine or a brand new machine that doesn't have access to anything. The reason being is because if, say, for example, you download a virus or you download something malicious, it will go rogue and it will actually steal and take your things, right? We've seen articles of people actually losing a lot of money. It's stealing their API keys. It's stealing a whole bunch of things. So if you're not sure what you're doing, just be cautious in terms of how do you deploy this thing. So don't just put it on your local machine that has your browser and your passwords. Don't do any of that things first. Abdul's actually saying agentic phishing scam is scary. You're so right, Abdul. All right. So with that being said, how do you actually do this? So as Johnny mentioned, you can go to openclaw.ai, right? And we'll bring up the website here. So you go to openclaw.ai, and it's really, we talked about the installation last week. It's really one thing to install, one command to install. But once you get beyond the installation, you have to go over to Telegram, and then you install Telegram on your local machine. So some people may have Telegram already. If you do have Telegram, you can chat with a bot called a bot father. If you chat with a bot called a bot father, the bot father is going to say, hey, I see that you're actually talking to me. You want to set up a Telegram bot. And you can say yes, just answer some questions. And at some point in time, you're going to say that you want to connect it to OpenClaw. It will then create it for you. It will give you a pin, just like if you were to try to sync or stream to your TV or whatever. You get a nice little pin, and then you go over to OpenClaw and you say, "Hey, OpenClaw, here is my pin," and that's it. Once you put in your pin, it's all linked. So you actually have a pin that looks like this. If anybody wants to do it in code wise, but you have a user interface that you can actually paste. But it's just OpenClaw pairing approved Telegram and the code. That's it. And once you have that, your OpenClaw is able to talk with Telegram, and I have access to it on my phone. I have access to it on my desktop. I have access to it anywhere. And remember, I have the ability to then communicate with my bot, my OpenClaw bot, no longer at my local machine. I have it access to anywhere in the world where I have access to internet and my phone.
So hang on for a second. So I get having Telegram on your phone so that you can talk to OpenClaw on your desktop that has access to your files and your browser and whatever else. Why do you need Telegram on your desktop? Can't you just talk to OpenClaw in OpenClaw?
So yes, so I could technically communicate to OpenClaw in OpenClaw, right? Let me actually bring it up here and see. I can actually talk to OpenClaw. Let me log in. And I could technically say, go over to chat and actually talk to it here, right, in OpenClaw. The reason why I'm mentioning it is because, say, for example, I'm at work. And because I'm at work, I'm using a different desktop computer. So some people actually have their work desktop computer. Some people have their home laptop or their home machine. By having Telegram on the desktop, you don't have to then pull out your mobile device. Your boss doesn't have to see you actually typing on your mobile device. You can just seamlessly open up Telegram, right, on the desktop, and you could be talking to your bot at home to do some stuff for you. You can say, "Hey, go do some research on, or go organize some files, or so go clean up some things that are on my desktop that I want you to do. Go do something," or that you would procrastinate and do. They say, "Hey, go do my taxes for me. I have all the source materials in here. Go open up TurboTax and go fill up my taxes for me." You could theoretically do all those things.
That's pretty awesome. I'm going to throw another metaphor out here. I know you're getting ready to dive in. So your OpenClaw sitting on your local box, correct? Stop me if I'm wrong, is a little bit like having a virtual assistant. It's a little bit like having a human being sitting at your computer at home while you're not at home. And you can tell that virtual assistant, go into this directory, find this file, open up my browser, log into my whatever, my email or my task management system or my bank, and update this new information. I just got this picture, add this to my website. Anything that you do on your computer, your VA can do probably better and faster than you. And you can talk to it while you're at your computer, and you can also talk to it while you're having coffee at Scooters.
Exactly. That is exactly the point. So the power of having your virtual agent. I like how you put that, AI Johnny, a virtual assistant or virtual agent sitting at your computer, not actually being there and using the computer for you is actually a huge step forward in terms of agentic systems. So let's actually do one little thing. So I know Chris had spoken about using Signal, but it supports Slack, it supports Discord. They have a whole ecosystem to be able to know what messaging platforms. And actually just take a peek here to see what they have. And here you go, Chris, it does support Signal, right? So you can actually go ahead and play around with that anytime you want. All right, yeah, Johnny. So let's take
Since it does work from Signal, can I use it to get the war plans that we have for what's going on in the world today?
Oh, of course, definitely. That
I
information
heard the
is.
war plans were up there on Signal for a while.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was. All right. So check this out, guys. So we're gonna go back over to our little Telegram bot, and this is what I want to show you guys, right? The reason why I want to show you guys is we can actually do amazing things with this, and we're gonna give a little bit example. Now, based on this, we can actually go look at my machine, and I want to show you guys that on the machine, I just have my text files, right? And there's really nothing in there. I can actually delete all of these. And I'm going to delete all of these files just to show you guys what can be done. Anyway, before I even get there. So let's say, for example, I wanted to do something relatively simple. So I want to take the same exact document and I want to tell Telegram, I said, hey, I want you to create a summary text file, right? And we're keeping it simple here. We can actually do a whole bunch of things, but we don't want to do images and all the things. But I want to create a summary text file. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, based on the transport budget, write a short memo to the bus drivers explaining a massive variable cost and save it locally on my desktop named bus memo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this exact thing. So based on the student transportation budget, actually not the student, I'm going to use the new library computers. All right, so I'm saying based on the new library computers budget, write a short memo, not to the bus driver, to the librarian, explaining our massive variable costs and save it locally on my desktop as bus memo txt. Okay, so I'm actually doing something very simple here. So I'm saying go read the file that's on my local machine, then go write a memo to the librarian, and then go save the file. So I'm actually just going to go send that. Now, just to show you guys, let's not say bus memo. Yeah, Johnny, let's throw something random here, or anybody from the audience. Tell me what you guys want to name the file so we know that it's actually random. It's not actually, we're not making this up. Anybody in 3, 2, 1, throw the name?
Pineapple?
Yeah, Johnny loves pineapple. Let's try it. Pineapple. All right, pineapple memo txt. So I'm going to go ahead and send that over. And what happens is the bot itself received my request. It's actually typing right now. And you can see because it's typing, it's actually thinking. It says, look I have written the memo explaining the budget for new library computers and clarifying the definition of massive variable costs as per the budget document. I have saved it to your desktop as pineapple memo.txt. So I'm going to go over to my desktop here. And there is a pineapple memo file here. And if I double click on it, I'll actually see here, it says to librarian from Airhead Clawbot. Yeah, Johnny, how's the font on that? Is that visible?
Readable. It's readable.
All right. Clarification on library computer budget and variable costs. Dear librarian, this memo provides clarification regarding the allocation for new library computers and concept of massive variable costs as outlined in the school's district annual budget. So the point is we don't have to necessarily read the whole thing, but you can see that it actually did work. It saved the file on my local machine. And I can say, hey, you know what? I didn't like that you saved the file. So let's see if we can actually move the file. Move the file to my organize text files folder. Okay, so I'm just going to say move the file. So we should see that this file is going to get moved when I actually hit send. So the bot is going to read my request. And it just moved it. Just disappeared and it says, I moved the file over there. So if you notice, anything you can do, we did a move file operation, we did a create file operation. I know this seems basic, but this is only episode 2. And we want to set the foundation that anything that you can think of, you can have your bot do on your local machine. And the beautiful part about this is you can give it hundreds of tasks. You can give it a long running goal and it will be able to do it on a schedule. And that's just a preview of what's going to come up in the next episode. All right, yeah, Johnny. Are you all wowed out?
Yeah, my brain is on fire. So a couple of things. One is having a bot sitting at your computer instead of you sitting at your computer is a really good thing. In fact, it's a better thing than you sitting at your computer. You're sitting off at the coffee shop telling the bot what to do. But if you're like me, how many people here have hard drives that have a downloads directory or a document directory with a whole bunch of folders and a whole bunch of files? You have no idea what's in there. It's just a big mess. right? So yeah, and sometimes the number of files that are in there are so large, you're like, you know what, I'm never going to sort these out. What you can do now is from OpenClaw or from Telegram, communicating with OpenClaw on your phone or on a work desktop, you can now say, go into my downloads directory, look at every file, read the file, determine where it belongs, and put it in the appropriate directory. If it's a file I don't need, put it in a directory called to be deleted. If it's a file that needs attention, put it in a, flag it with a, so the idea is you can tell your OpenClaw, get my hard drive organized for me, and then you'll go and stop at the grocery store, and by the time you get home, everything's organized.
You're
I
you're
can't even
absolutely
fathom being organized. I haven't been organized since 1966.
I love it, yeah, Johnny. Guys, so just to show you the example of organization. So this text file folder is filled with a whole bunch of junk. Remember, I wanted to delete it earlier. So I can say, please delete all empty files in the text files folder. Okay. And then it's going to hit send, hands off the keyboard. My hands are up here and it's thinking. It says, yes, I can do that. It says, are you sure you want to proceed? So it's asking, are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. I'm going to say, yes, please. I am sure. And again, let's press enter. My hands are up. And it's actually going to go ahead and wipe off all those files. There you go. Just delete all the files for me. So this is the power of having an agent, and you can have long running tasks. The thing that is going to blow your mind is that when you have long running tasks that could run for 20 hours, you want to create a music, or you want to create a document, or you want to create, you want to fill out your taxes. All those things are possible with this agentic flow.
Hey, dude,
All right.
what would happen if you typed right now, whoops?
Whoops. Let's see what happens. It says, whoops, is everything okay, Junior? Did I accidentally delete something you needed, or did you realize something after I deleted the empty files? Can you put them back, please? I don't think it can put it back. I don't think it
I don't
has a
think you
track.
can either. But
Yeah.
the fact that I'm afraid I can't. I asked you. That's good. That's all I wanted to know. But
Yep.
But so what? A human couldn't put them back either.
Yeah, depends on the trash can and stuff. So I have a question from Abdul coming in here. So Abdul's actually asking, what are the limits of the agent here? How abstract of a task can you give it? Like task without a clear outcome, like apply to jobs and land me an interview. You're absolutely right, Abdul. It could technically apply, go onto LinkedIn and go onto Indeed every single 30 minutes, go look for a job and actually apply for you. So you could actually do all of that for you if you wanted to. So there are really no limits on what you can have it do as long as it has access to what you have on a computer with a keyboard, a mouse, and a browser and a computer screen. It can do it for you. So there's no limitation for that. Great use case. All right, AI Johnny, we are going to actually now move to the to the next section here. Oops, we're going to move to the next section here, and the section we're going to move to is the deep dive.
Deep dive on the logic or the deep dive on the live edit?
70.
Got it. All right, everybody. Oh, this is the tech stuff again.
Yeah.
Like your ears, the jargon is gonna be flying. This is where AI Junior nerds out with this AI stuff. So don't worry if you don't follow along with this section. All right, Junior. Technically, how does the agent read a massive budget document and then physically write the file to your hard drive so fast? Explain it to me.
Yeah. All right, guys. So here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that the operating system behind the scenes provides all these things like mouse movement, file reading, file writing, file deletion, file movement. All these things are things that you're actually doing. But what happens is when you give it a massive document, it can't process the whole entire thing because you have massive context windows. So if you have a huge number of files on your local machine, it actually is going to break it down into smaller chunks or segments. So this is called chunking. And the reason why this is important is because if you give it a massive task, so let's say, for example, the example of Abdul's example of, can you apply for jobs for me? on LinkedIn or on Indeed or wherever the job site that he wants to apply, there's a lot of jobs out there. So it actually has to chunk the data, take a little bit at a time and work with it in chunks because it's going to blow through its context window. So it has the ability to keep chunking it and breaking it into segments so that you can actually move on and complete a reasonably long running task with a very small amount of overhead. Now, after, say, for example, you've chunked the website, the documents, or whatever, it actually puts it into a high dimensional database and through a mathematical process called embeddings. I've talked about embeddings here a lot, but I want you guys to actually understand it's actually taking the data and actually storing it for you. Then what it's doing is once it's stored into a local database, a vector database, you can ask any questions. You can say, hey, go do this or go do that. So it's actually taking it, understanding the pieces of the thing that you're asking, organizing it, and then acting on that organization. So let's take an example of Abdul, applying for a job. So it would actually first perform a search and say, hey, the search is resulting in 400 jobs. It would then take all those 4,000 jobs, chunk it, and then shove it into its own local database. And it will then sift through those jobs and say which one of those jobs it makes sense to apply for. It would then look at those individual pieces, take those individual jobs, and then go to those URLs to then try to see, is this worth applying for? It would read the job description, and then it would then, if the job description is even longer, it can chunk that as well. So then what's happening is instead of taking in the entire LinkedIn job posts, it's actually just taking in one piece at a time, just like how a human would not get overwhelmed. They would break it into smaller problems to try to solve the problem. So things like, the whole agentic framework of OpenClaw, that's what it is. It is just a framework to allow you to do a task and don't have to worry about context window, context sizes, what piece of information do I need to put in memory. It just figures it out on the fly. And that's the best part about these agentic frameworks that are popping up every day. All right, yeah, Johnny, did I lose you?
Nope.
Awesome.
Are we doing takeaways?
Yes, sir. Does anybody have any questions? We're going to have the question and answer section, but I want to make sure that you guys ask your question and have enough time to ask your question. So start thinking about the questions. We're going to get to that segment next. So let's go over key takeaways and application. And please, guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. All right, yeah, Johnny.
Okay, so we're going to do some creative and some business takeaways, and then we'll have AI Junior because he understands all those terms that we just unleashed. He'll get into the technical stuff. So you're no longer just asking questions, you are delegating tasks. Do you understand the difference? ChatGPT, you ask it a question because you're the guy that's responsible for doing the task, and it's just serving as a helper. But now you're not asking questions, you're actually telling it, do my work for me. Parents can text their bot a 20-page school policy PDF and say, write a one-page summary of the dress code and save it to my local printer, or write an email to the school saying, got it, read it, we're good. Principals can text their machine from a conference room, read the new state compliance guidelines and draft an email to the staff, then save it as a text file on my desktop so it's ready when I get back to my office. You see how it's starting to sound like a virtual assistant? It's literally like another human being, but it's a smarter human being that knows exactly where your files are and exactly what to do. And finally, if you're a member of the PTA, you can text your bot a messy list of vendor quotes and command it organize this into a clean spreadsheet and save it as vendors.csv, which is a comma-spaced file, to my local hard drive. So again, a lot of times, and by the way, some of these things that you're commanding the agentic AI to do, you might not even know how to do, but it does. So again, making that case that you have a virtual assistant, and right now, I'm dying to see what we do in weeks 3, 4, and 5 because I'm commanding the assistant. But what I'm looking for is when I'm sitting there having my coffee, when my agentic AI texts me and says, would you like me to blah, 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 you have an email that they're waiting on an answer for. So right now we're commanding the agentic AI, but wait till the agentic AI starts taking stuff under its own volition. Imagine how much stuff you'll be able to get done in the future weeks. JR, that's the creative and business stuff. Any technical stuff you'd like to share?
Definitely. And the use cases that we're showing here is because we're actually in the month of March, our theme for the month of March is trying to make, if you guys notice on our Wednesday shows, we actually have, going to college and education. So we're actually in the education month of the theme. So we're trying to make sure that people who are in the education space, whether you're a parent, a teacher, or, a student, have enough information. So these use cases may be a little bit geared towards, education space, but it applies to every single industry because everybody has a need to be able to use the computer. Now, on the technical side, because it has access to the file system, I know I see my developers out there, so I see you guys. Shout out to Adrian and Abdul out there. So developers can be at a coffee shop and actually text their agent and analyze a messy data dump, or they can actually say, write me a Python script to be able to clean the data and save the file to my local directory. It can say, I want you to debug these files for me. There's a bug that's here that I don't really understand why it's happening. Go debug. You can actually do things like if you're an IT admin, you can actually command the bot to remotely ping your main server, and you can format the diagnostic results into an incident report and save it locally, so it keeps a timestamp of your ping of if the health of your server. You can do data analysis. You can text machine while on your commute to scrape public education RSS feeds, and that if they mention anything like varsity basketball, I want you to send a congratulatory tweet and save it locally to my text file as a log, so I can see what actually went out as tweets. So the point is, the power is technically infinite once you actually start thinking about the use cases of what you can do with this tool. All right. Does anybody have any questions with respect to OpenClaw and what we've demoed here today? Remember, if you're on the live stream, go ahead and ask your question. It's going to be a 30-second delay before we actually see it. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Abdul was lighting up the place with questions. I know Chris was asking questions early, so you guys may have actually, ran out of all your questions. All right, yeah, Johnny, let's go to the live chat. Any questions in the live chat?
We got one or two lined up. Teacher Tom, I guess we're going with the theme. Do I have to pay for Telegram premium account to use Podfather for this? So I guess they're asking if Telegram has a fee.
Yeah. So Telegram does have premium features. You can pay for stickers. You can pay for a whole bunch of things. They definitely are trying to stay on the free model. But no, you don't have to pay for a premium account because all those processing and everything happens on the OpenClaw side. So you don't have, it happens on my local machine or your local machine. So you don't have to necessarily worry about that. So zero subscription fee. I do see a question from Abdul. Let me jump to Abdul really quick. So Abdul's actually asking, this will bridge the gap between technical AI users and non-technical AI users. All these people who struggle in the context of a chatbot will now have a much better luck. You're absolutely right, Abdul. This is actually closing the gap between the technical and the non-technical folks. Love it. Yeah, Johnny.
Problems that people had before they even knew they had it.
Exactly. Yeah, Johnny, any other questions?
Data. Yeah, I got a question from Star Trek Data. Does it only work with Telegram?
Yeah, just like Chris had asked, OpenClaw works with a lot of different systems. So Chris had asked about Signal. So if you actually go through here on their messaging platform, I'm gonna just put a little link so you guys can actually see. I'm gonna drop that link here, and you can see, again, I'm just going to go out the popular ones. I'm not going to read all of them, but it has Discord, it has Google Chat, it has iMessage, IRC, it has Microsoft Teams, it has Signal, it has Slack, Telegram, Twitch, WhatsApp. Those are the big ones. So you can technically have it talk to many, many, many others, but those are the ones that are really, really popular. So yeah, those are what's available so far.
Did I see SMS on there?
Yeah, it has, I think it's,
I'd like to be able to text it.
No SMS, unfortunately.
It'll be there. Hey, we're running out of time. Future Ed wants to know, can the bot overwrite important files if I ask it to save something with the same name?
Yeah, this is why we spent episode 1 stressing, do not do anything on your local machine if you're not ready to face the consequences. Make sure you have a backup. A backup is always, by definition, you need to have 2 copies in different mediums and different sources. So keep in mind that's what a definition of a backup is. So you can't have 2 copies in your house, because if your house burns down, then it's not a backup. So you need to actually have 1 copy at your house and 1 copy somewhere else, just in case. So just want to make sure you guys have access to that. Yeah, Johnny, what is the news for today?
Breaking news, Telegram just announced a massive update to their bot API, allowing for native encrypted local payloads, making integrations with systems like OpenClaw even more secure against the man-in-the-middle attacks. Second, an open source community just released Tiny Llama Secure, a remarkable small 1.1 billion parameter model specifically designed to run securely on mobile phone chips without ever needing a cloud connection. These are all directly related to what we learned today. And finally, Stanford University researchers published a paper demonstrating that localized agentic frameworks are now outperforming traditional cloud APIs in both speed and data privacy for educational institutions. What that means is lean in, listen up. This stuff is coming to your school, to your office, and to your home very soon.
Yep, so right, yeah, Johnny.
Today. Personally, I'm going to go home right now and wire up the burner bot to my phone so I can text my computer to write my meal prep grocery list and save them as files before I even get out of bed. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, because we're checking out the Google Anti-Gravity, the AI IDE, and we're going to build a functional digital hall pass tracking app in exactly 60 seconds. Junior, take us out.
Yeah, so I want to actually double down on that last plug, AI Johnny. So tomorrow, we're actually going through all our Google services. One of the services that we go through on the Tuesday series is tomorrow is going to be Google and Anti-Gravity. Anti-Gravity is an IDE, so if you guys have used Visual Studio Code and you guys love it, you guys are going to love Anti-Gravity, because it has the ability to write code for you automatically, right, with just a prompt. So forget what you think you've known. This is an episode that you can't miss. And Abdul actually saying this is very powerful and scary. Imagine getting a spam email and you click the link and it injects a malicious agent instruction and bricks your computer or leaks sensitive info. You're so right. Abdul. So don't want to miss tomorrow's show. And thank you guys again for joining us. Remember, all these classes are completely free live. You can ask questions directly on Zoom. But if you want RSVP by going to airheadinstitute.ai, signing up for a regular account, and you get a free trial if you want to actually get a paid member. Support us in any way you can. And you can get tips on your own AI projects or AI office hours every Wednesday at 3 to 5 p.m. So catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.